This is the North Georgia Life Podcast. Embrace life where you live. Welcome to the North Georgia Life Podcast. It is Jake, your host. Today's episode is a really great story because this is a business that started up in the midst of everything shutting down. So we are at Old Mill Nutrition, which is in the Brazelton, Flowery Branch area, and this story is so good that I don't want anybody to miss kind of the underlying message in this. And we are talking today with Deanna Hightower. Her and her boyfriend Brian Shaw really kind of launched into starting this. I understand Brian did a lot of the heavy lifting and legwork and getting the actual physical space ready, and Deanna was doing a lot of kind of the back end stuff of the office stuff, getting the social media stuff ready, the products, all that sort of thing. And it reminds me of one of my favorite scenes and one of my favorite movies, which is Days of Thunder. Now, this not the Ricky Bobby Days of Thunder, this the actual Days of Thunder. But at the end of the movie, the final race, the final scene, the climax of the movie, Tom Cruise is a race car driver, NASCAR driver named Cole, and he is going into the final turn of the Daytona 500, and there's a crash up ahead. And there are cars all over the place, there's smoke everywhere, and literally he cannot see where he should drive to try to get through this in order to be able to potentially win the race. And he radios to his pit chief, Harry, and they have a short little exchange, and then Harry gives him this one piece of advice, which I think is in spades what all of us need from time to time, and certainly what Old Mill Nutrition has done in 2020. And he says this. He says, pick a line and drive through it. When we hesitate, when we go back and forth, when we start, stop, red light, green light, we cripple ourselves in our ability to actually accomplish and achieve our hopes and dreams in life. And some of that is in business, and some of that is a personal life application, but it is a gospel fact when we just put our nose to the grindstone and get on it and stay with it, usually good things come from that. And you would have never thought a small business starting up in the midst of everything shutting down would be in a place where they're starting to really thrive. And you're going to hear about the story about the community around them, and just a really great story. Also, their drinks are amazing. So our kids have sampled a couple. I've gotten to try some of those. I got to try one during the podcast interview. I've not had anything from there that is not absolutely delicious. So if you're looking for a change of pace from the normal, kind of to-go drinks wherever you get them, this is a great place to get synced up with. You know how to find us online: Facebook, Instagram, North Georgia Life Podcast, North Georgia Life Podcast at gmail.com if you have suggestions for future episodes. And hey, I'm going to tell you this. Some of the episodes I've got planned, and we're working out dates right now for the next month or two, are just fascinating. I'm so excited about them. Please continue to share this. Every episode, the downloads and the listeners grow. So I know I'm hoping that we're making a positive impact in our North Georgia community, because, hey, look, we all need some positive impact. Need some positive energy, and we need some fun things to do with the people that we love that we can still see. So with that said, we'll get started with Deanna Hightower at Old Mill Nutrition. Welcome to the North Georgia Life Podcast. Is Jake, your host. Today's episode is pretty unique and at the same time very common. So we are at Old Mill Nutrition we're in Flowery Branch, right?
We are the town of Brazelton.
City of Flowery Branch address. So we're right on Spout Springs Road. For those of you who are familiar with Spout Springs and the glorious construction project it is about to become, the Old Mill Nutrition is something that I have seen, honestly, probably more from people that I know on Facebook and Instagram posting stuff, your drinks from here, than I think any retail location that I have seen
in memory. Like it's all over the place, and I'm like, what is happening? What are they doing? And so I'd mentioned to you, one of my kids came here and came home, and we'd already connected and started to try to get this set up. And his comment was something to the effect of, "You have a great vibe," which I come to believe is a very strong compliment in this day and age for our younger folks. So congratulations. So we are here with Deanna Hightower, who are you the owner, store manager?
I'm the owner.
Okay. So you are not from the restaurant background.
Nope.
So let's kind of start with, you grew up in West Palm, is that right?
South Florida.
You grew up, went to high school there. How'd you end up in Georgia?
Yep. I followed my mom up here.
Okay.
With my daughter.
Okay.
I've been in the medical field for 8 years. I went as a medical assistant. I just actually went and finished surgical tech school last year. So I was doing surg tech, first assist when everything came to be this year. My boyfriend and I started getting ready to open this business, and 2 weeks into renovations, everything started to shut down.
Yep. Awesome for small business startups.
Yes, it was definitely worrisome. But this was definitely not my background. Of course, I've done like the waitressing kind of jobs through college and school, but...
So did you have any kind of passion in the food service industry, entrepreneurial space, or whatever when you were in Florida?
Yeah.
Your background, transitioning from that to surgical tech to now making awesome drinks and stuff like that. Very diverse. How did that transition kind of play out?
I've always been like hospitality, care.
Gotcha.
I'm a talker. I love to talk. I love to get to know everybody. So I always want that one-on-one. I really loved being a medical assistant, and I love surgery. But you're not really talking to your patients in there. And so I really just like being here every day and getting to know everybody who comes in every day. They start coming regularly, and I feel like I know my customers. They're my friends, a lot of them now.
Yeah. So that's one of the things from we kind of talked about before we started. You know, you hadn't been here for 12 years. You're not established staple that like Papa Jack's is across the street or something like that. But I do think there's a couple probably important business lessons that you may have just fallen into. It may be just how you're wired as an individual, but everybody that I've seen post stuff online, and I'm looking at my drink right now, you write a little handwritten message on.
Yes.
You really add a personal touch to it, and it literally is probably something that takes about 8 seconds, but you do it on every drink, and it's different on everybody's drink. I don't know how you do that, because I would run out of ideas, I think.
Yeah, Pinterest.
Pinterest for the win. That is something that is so easily overlooked, regardless of what business segment you're in. That those of you who listen, I'm in real estate, but there's a gazillion realtors out there, like there is insurance people or whatever. I tell new agents, I said it's really obscenely easy to stand out in our business, because so few people actually make it about the people that they're serving. They make it more about themselves, and you're doing that in a simple way, but you just described the after effect of that. Of these people are now loyal customers. They're sharing your stuff voluntarily on Facebook. There's no incentive for them or Instagram other than you're building the affinity and the brand awareness in their DNA, and now they're sharing your story. And ultimately, that's why we're sitting down here today, was because I just kept seeing it over and over and over again. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, where is this place? And here we are. So you're doing something right, whether you knew how right you were doing it or not. Good job on that.
Thanks. It is pretty time consuming, but it's crazy how so many people get that cup at the right time. Like, they've just stopped and like, is everything okay? Yeah, I just can't believe what's on my cup and what I'm going through today.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
For those of you who are, even if you're not a small business owner, if you are looking in any way, shape, or form to build affinity to your organization, brand awareness, customer loyalty, any of those things, like, this is a very, very simple thing to do that has a huge ripple effect. I'm very curious how you went to surgical tech. What was that were you like, this is totally not what I wanted to do? You said there was a lot of it was elective surgery, so we all know those went away completely for the first part of, or really just kind of started back up in late summer of 2020 that we're in now.
Right.
Most of those were gone.
Yes.
So was this something you were thinking about a year ago, or how did that happen?
I started thinking about it when I went into another store about a year ago. So it was on my mind. Maybe not as quick as I did because I did enjoy surgery, but this is more fun to me.
This is definitely more fun.
Yeah,
than
this
surgery.
is fun. I love talking to everybody. And I've just seen the other store do it. We live in Winder, so originally we went to Trackside in Winder.
Yep.
And they're just phenomenal. They're always happy, outgoing. They got to know me, and I started picking their brain. So I just said we were going to go for it. Not only just the thought of being your own business owner and having your own store, kind of running things yourself, but now all the connections I've made have just been so much more worth it. Here in this, even in this shopping plaza, my kids go out back and they play with the neighbors' kids from that business right here next to Maynard's. They play out back at the basketball court while we're doing renovations all day. So it's just been such a blessing. Like, we were meant to be here at this time.
Yeah. And I think there's, 2020 has gone like no one planned it. And you guys were what, 2 weeks in when everything
Like
the
2
world
weeks
shut
into
down?
renovations and everything started to shut down. Really made you second guess, were you going to keep going for where you wanted to be, or we were just going to stop and be at a standstill?
Yeah. In which case you'd probably still be at a standstill right now.
Yes, probably, most definitely.
With no income.
Right,
More
right.
importantly, with no income. Take us to that point of week 1, week 2, week 3, because I think there is a huge lesson in probably in many areas of life itself, but business especially, where like if you had hesitated, if you were start stop, like you cripple yourself in your ability to start generating income. But really it plays with your mind a lot. And what am I really supposed to be doing this? Why did this happen? Can we do this? And you were sharing with me before we started you guys have really just blown it out of the water the last few months. You couldn't have that if you had start, stop, red light, green light when you had the planet shut down on you.
Right. It was a lot of hesitation at the beginning. We definitely took our time to do this. So when some people can open their business in a month and get going, we definitely took our time to do so, knowing that ultimately if we have to not open when we plan to open, that may have been the worst thing, but we knew we'd be ready. So when I left surgery completely, I wasn't working at the time anyway because of elective surgery stopping.
Right.
And I did not want to go into the hospital with 4 young kids at home and take on that challenge either of having to stay away from them. So all we could do was just take our time and keep going if that's what we wanted to do. So we needed to decide if we were going to push forward or just pull the plug, cut our losses at that time, and just see where the rest of the year takes us. Luckily, we kept pushing through, and now we're here, and the community has just been amazing. All the businesses have been be local, buy local. Flowery Branch, we've had a lot of from downtown Flowery Branch businesses sharing our information, coming to support us. The community support has been nothing that I could have imagined.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you had not been in a small business setting, no experience in any of this realm of life before.
Not at all. My few employees can probably tell you there's like 5 calendars of our schedules. I have stuff everywhere. I am still most definitely getting my bearings on keeping things together and being organized to be able to run this consistently.
Yeah. There's so few things in life that I think people really take a firm attempt at. They really have determined in their mind, like, I'm going to actually lean into this. I meet people all the time that, say they're going to do something or, want to pursue something, and they give it about 60, 70% effort.
I've probably done that a few times.
And that's normal because for most of us, your passion, your calling are very linked, and a lot of us are in that 60-70% place because we're just trying to either convince ourselves of something or somebody let us in to do something, and it's not something we're really passionate about pursuing. And so that's why we kind of throttle at that 60-70% mark. But, again, for you guys, starting this in an absolutely unprecedented time in history, you guys were like, we're just going to go for it.
Yep.
Have no idea what it's going to look like come the start of the school year. Really, it's like you're in a fog you can't see past next week.
No idea at all. This is just definitely something we believed in. We followed local owners, trainings. These are products and drinks that we've loved at home. We make shakes at home. We make teas at home. And we were just excited. It wasn't really just about opening the business and having our own business, but sharing it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it was something that we were just passionate about, and the opportunity, we were just going to keep pushing for that opportunity.
Yeah. And we look at how the year has gone, and I think that in and of itself is such a differentiator in how people you look at what you've done in the worst in terms of uncertainty year that we've probably ever had on the planet for a long, long time. And you guys have killed it. I mean, you went through uncertainty getting this started. Your free marketing that your customers are doing for you is the best kind of marketing because they're doing it for no incentive whatsoever other than they love it. And you're not, this is unique, but it's not really a specialty product. It's teas and shakes and things like that. But you're doing it in a way that is completely different.
Yes.
So kudos on all that.
Thanks.
If you had to go back a year from now, what would you have done differently a year from now if you knew the forecast for 2020?
I don't know that I would have done anything differently.
That's awesome.
I enjoyed what I did. I was in school, so I maybe wouldn't have put my family through the stress we had with me being away for school.
Yeah.
But I truly loved that time. I'm going to keep that certification. I'll always love the medical field, but I don't think I would have done anything differently. I knew I needed to keep going. I've always been that person to set my mind to something. I'm going to make it happen. And so I would have done everything the same, and I would have kept going this year too, because if not, I would still be like, what if? Or I would still be unhappy where I was or have reasons to complain about where I was, but not done anything to change it. So
Very well said. In that realm of smoothies, shakes, teas, tell us about, for those people who are listening, have no idea, maybe they've seen it as well online, but don't really know what you guys have, what you are. Give us a quick summary, what some of your best sellers are. Varieties, that sort of thing. So
we're primarily known for our meal replacement shakes and our loaded teas. So our meal replacement shakes are high protein, low carb, low sugar, low fat. We have a lot of fun flavors. Banana pudding is by far my favorite. Frosted animal cookies, cinnamon toast crunch, Captain Crunch, just like cereals in a bowl, like cereals and milk.
But healthy.
Yes, but healthy, exactly. They're a soy protein. And then our loaded teas are what everybody's sharing all over Instagram for the pretty colors and the cute notes. They are all black, green, and oolong tea. Ginseng and guarana, we top it with a liquid aloe for absorption and digestion. But they're all fruit flavors. So you're getting all these tea benefits for fruit flavors. There's 24 calories, no sugar.
What? There's in that?
Oh, yeah. In your Miami Vice, no sugar.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
There's no sugar in that thing.
Mm-mm.
It tastes like Kool-Aid.
It's that's one of my favorites too. Our specialty drinks are like light snacks, so they still have like a biotin and collagen product for your hair, skin, and nails, and 17 grams of protein, but still no sugar.
I've heard about this collagen thing. Is that a bestseller?
They're very popular. If you don't want something as filling as a shake, so we do combo our shakes and teas. So that does give a little incentive for the Facebook check-ins or the share, because you can get $1 off a combo. But everybody just sharing the loaded teas are just because they're so pretty.
Because they're yeah, and that's what I noticed. I was like, what is happening? Everybody is sharing these things, but I don't understand. What is it? And now I know what it is.
Yes.
It's like a miracle in a cup.
It is magic. We have kids' drinks too, so the little ones can have some that's not equivalent to so much caffeine. They're just like flavored electrolytes, but we do make them colorful like our adult drinks.
So, and I wanted to touch on that because for people who need that pick-me-up in the middle of the day or at lunch or whatever, you've got the caffeine, but you don't have the other effects of coffee.
Yep, you don't have the sugar.
And
Yeah,
you don't
definitely.
you've got the nutrients that are in addition to the caffeine.
Definitely.
So.
It's about equivalent to about 2 cups of coffee, but you're not going to get like what you'd get from a Monster. You're not going to get all jittery.
Yeah.
You're not going to crash. So it's not that same kind of energy.
Or a heart attack.
Yeah, or a heart attack for sure.
Any local favorites that you have? You've been here in Georgia for 10 years?
10 years. Mm-hmm.
What do you love in the area?
Here we love being so close to the lake just because it may not be the same as the beach, but it's nice for us. We love Lake Lanier Islands. I feel like all of my girls can do stuff there. There's just so much to offer. We're foodies, so we like to go out to eat. This Maynard's at the corner happens to be right next to us.
Yep.
And I absolutely love their Monterey chicken.
Ooh.
The girls always pick something different off their kids' menu because I have 4 girls. So we are always on the go.
Yeah, but it's literally right next door.
Yes, literally.
Awesome.
Our neighbor.
So, yeah, you could have a pretty epic lunch date here in this
Yes.
shopping center.
Yes. We love the Mulberry Park.
Yes.
So we like a lot of the little small local areas that are not super busy.
Yeah.
That's something I love is not being in the city anymore.
Yeah.
So, and it's so much, as much as we're growing over here, it's actually considered Brazelton West, that everybody's still so close in such a community.
All right, so before we wrap up, a question I like to do every episode I call the lightning round, which is a question that has absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about. So you have made some pretty diverse transitions, so this is going to be completely different from anything you've done, so it should fit, right?
Right.
So I titled this The World Series of Poker in Fiction Land. Okay, if these fictional characters were playing in the World Series of Poker tournament, who would you put your money on to come home with the win? Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter from Harry Potter, Han Solo from Star Wars, or Frodo Baggins from The Lord of the Rings? Who's a better poker player than the other 3?
I've never seen Lord of the Rings, and I would be a terrible poker player, but I'm going to go with Jack Sparrow because I love him.
I'm going to go with Sparrow, too. Now, originally I was like, probably the magician, probably Harry Potter. But
yes.
You got to have some ground rules for poker, and the first one has to be no magic. But Jack Sparrow's crafty, and he's a thief.
Yes.
So I figure he will have the best hand, whether he gets dealt it or he acquires it.
Right. I agree.
In the hand. Yes. So, all right, that's the correct answer. All right, so before we wrap up, let's talk about how people find you. You were sharing with me you've got an app, just like some of our big franchise chains. You guys have an app so people can order. You can do contactless, the curbside pickup. People, have been walking in, just placing orders at the counter.
Yes.
Tell us all about it and how people find you online.
So we are on all social media platforms. We are on Yelp, Facebook, Instagram. You can even see me and some of the girls on TikTok, Snapchat. We do have an app. It is Engage Your Club app. It's a green and black smiley face. You can also find this on our Facebook or our Instagram accounts with our store code. You can order and pay through the app. You can also text us or call us to place your order ahead of time. We can also offer contactless delivery if you prefer not to come in the store at this time. You give us a call, let us know you're out front. We'll bring it out for you.
In your physical address, street address, if people are in the area and need to find you.
It is 7435 Spout Springs Road, Suite 105, Flowery Branch, 30542. And we are at the corner of Spout Springs and Friendship, across from Kroger, in the same shopping center as the Sonic, Trigger Time, Dojo. I'm trying to think of the big ones.
Pretty good staples. And what kind of lead time do people need for placing orders? Assuming it's not 15.
Yes, assuming it's not huge, not even 5 minutes.
Okay.
Normally, we get right on them when they call it in. I I have some regulars. You can text our store phone. We do get here before store hours and get started on it. You can't order and pay on the app until store hours open.
Gotcha.
But if you're going to need it right when we open, I know everybody's rushing to get back to work if they're working or to school for pre-planning. We will get started on them as soon as we get here. So when we open the doors, you can come in and have them ready.
And your hours are?
They are 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 4 on Fridays, Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 2.
Awesome.
7 days a week.
Cool. All right. Well, we will end there. This is, I'm reveling. How many calories did you say this drink was?
24.
It literally tastes like I'm drinking Kool-Aid. That's amazing. That's
You'll
absolutely
be
amazing.
going all night now.
Well, I gotta drive up to Greenville this afternoon.
You'll make
So I'll make it there and back without any assistance. So awesome. Well, cool. With that, we'll end. And yeah, thanks for your time.
Cool. Thank you.
This is the North Georgia Life Podcast. Embrace life where you live.